The story of the first oil cargo in Rotterdam. On June 30th, 1862, an American ship sailed into the port of Rotterdam. That was not unusual, but this ship had a special cargo: petroleum. This very first cargo of petroleum to be imported into Rotterdam was stored by Vopak's predecessor, Pakhuis Meisteren. The characteristics and dangers of this new product were at that time almost unknown, because the first modern oil drilling in Canada and America had only begun a few years before. That is why the barrels were stored without any further safety measures in the East India House, a 150-year-old warehouse in the city centre. Not long after these first cargoes of petroleum, ominous stories about the flammable raw material began to circulate. On July 3rd, 1862, the newspaper described an incident in Brooklyn, where 6 ships with 15,000 barrels of American petroleum went up in flames due to carelessness. In order to prevent similar disasters, Pakhuis Meisteren decided from that moment on to store petroleum in the warehouse east of the city. The mayor of Rotterdam, however, felt it was important that all citizens were informed of the flammability of petroleum. He had posters put up in the city to warn them of this danger. He emphasized that storing or processing petroleum was only allowed with the permission of the city administration. The posters certainly had their effect. Although Pakhuis Meisteren had the necessary permits and there were no incidents in Rotterdam, insurers refused to cover the existing warehouses as long as petroleum was being stored there. In agreement with the city administration, Pakhuis Meisteren relocated to new buildings on the southern bank of the Maas. The first special-purpose warehouses for the storage of oil were built here in 1865, making Rotterdam one of the first ports in Europe with special facilities for storing petroleum. Since then, the way oil is stored has changed completely. The care for safety and our environment are top priority now. And over the years, the volumes of oil used have grown spectacularly. Rotterdam has become one of the world's largest ports, with large refineries and huge storage locations in the Botlek and Europort. About 150 years after the first warehouses for oil storage were brought into use, the safe, efficient and clean storage of oil, gas and chemicals across the globe is Vopak's core business.